Hello everyone, welcome back to Technobabylon. We are, I think, pretty close to getting out of this cell. We need to get the optics out of this camera and put it in this food machine, and hopefully we'll be able to get a little bit the meds we need to give this guy so that he can get the Trojan out of his head. That's these are one of the few games that you can say that with a straight face.
This might be useful.
There we go. High-grade lens. Can we do this?
I've upgraded the optical component with the camera's super-powered lens.
Oh yeah, that'll fit. That'll totally fit. Let's do it. Let's go and pull the table back over. This feels a little bit like that scene out of War Games when they lock him in that room and he uses the cassette recorder to record the magnetic, the electromagnetic stuff. Pretty interesting. Put that in there.
There. It should be a lot more sensitive with that now.
Now we're gonna put this back in here.
I can't put it back. It'd still just make the brown stuff.
Okay, right. So we got to do something with this. You know what I think we should do? I think we should. Can we put this on our own head? No. This to him.
You want this? Huh.
Okay. Maybe we can go into the trance. We can ask her for the pattern. Maybe we can go in here and ask her for the pattern. Oh, no. We don't need to do this. I'm sorry. He had the pattern already. He had the pattern in his head. We saw it floating. Right. So we actually can take this, I think. Yes. There we go. Got this here. Wonderful. We're gonna go back in here. Okay. And we have this here. Oh, you know what I think we need to do? I think that maybe that which just changing the optics doesn't seem like that should make that much of a difference, but maybe we can wet wear into this now.
Either it's got some print from the...
No, okay, we can't. Oh, we just have this here. Weird. Okay. There we go.
I hope it understands its new orders. Let's see what it can do now.
Now we take a coin, a token, sorry. Same thing.
It didn't sound like the machine enjoyed that. At least it managed to make me a cartridge of epic.
There we go. Boom.
The cartridge is mounted in the ejector.
Oh yeah, we're making good headway this time. Let's go, guy.
Now let's see if he holds up his end of the bargain.
So do we need to go back in there and talk to him? I think we probably do. All right. There we go.
Feeling better?
A whole lot, thanks. I managed to get rid of the knockoff. Give me a few hours. I'll be out of the wall and can help you leave.
I haven't got a few hours. What can you do now?
From here? Not much, but I could give you some options.
I need more than helpful suggestions.
I've got control of one of the utility drones. They use them for moving Kit around the building.
I might be able to escape if I was better equipped.
Atta girl. I've sent you the link to the drone. She'll be in your hub.
Awesome. I think that they should get these guys to do a significantly larger game, right? With a little bit higher fidelity than this. I mean, I understand why this is pixel art. It's supposed to be very retro, and that's awesome. I love it. But they should actually get them to do like a good game like this based on Ghost in the Shell. I mean, obviously Ghost in the Shell is a serious influence here. I'm just saying, in general, it would be really cool. Okay. So is this this is a camera input. Cutting laser. You can tell that the drone has this in its storage compartment but has no way of using it on its own. Okay, so... Oh, okay, I see. We can just move the drone. Awesome. Oh, and we're seeing from cameras. I see. This guy's probably going to stop us. Maybe. He did not stop us. Why did he not stop us? That is kind of crazy, actually. All right. I guess having drones just go into the holding area, you know, by themselves all the time is a thing. Hey.
Please do not interrupt active
It
drone.
won't sit still long enough to get it open.
Can I wetware with it? Come on, come
The
on.
wetware won't form a connection with it.
Actually, it probably would, but... can we put the food on the ground?
I can't use it like...
Oh, maybe we can put the sheet over the drone. Go.
I
Go.
can't use it like...
Really? Why not? That's dumb. Can we pull the table over?
Please do not interrupt active
It
drone.
won't sit still long enough.
What else do we have? We don't really have anything else. That's not gonna help. Did you just ran over my feet? You jerk. I don't think any of this is gonna matter.
That doesn't need...
Maybe... Hold on a second. Cancel. Can we... Maybe we can trance and get it to stop? No, we don't have the option in our hub anymore. I guess while we're in here, we can go in here and see if he has anything to say about it. But I don't know how to get it to stop. I'm racking my brain.
You sure you...
Yeah, I'll work on getting my... You work.
Okay, he's that whole conversation route is now closed. All right. Same stuff. Yes. Okay. So how do we get a drone to stop? Can we just put we put this stuff on the floor maybe? Maybe we put the floor stuff right here. No? No? Can we pull the table? No. Oh.
Come on, shoo!
Warning, power contact lost.
Oh, it pulls power through the floor. Interesting. Okay.
This might be useful.
A cutting laser. I feel so sorry for our corpseman, because he's totally gonna get in trouble. She has a long arm. Because the corpseman didn't hear that outside the door. Nah. Never. Germination? Germination. 8 hours later.
Dr. Lau, you have a visitor.
Oh, good evening, Dr. Lau.
Hello? And you are...
Surely you recognize him.
I'm afraid you'll have to enlighten me.
This is Dr. Vargas, the Central Operations Coordinator.
Now, Galatea, there's no need to be quite like that. The fact that I am not widely recognized perhaps indicates how successful we are.
Yes, you're right, Father.
Vargas? Dr. Eduardo Vargas?
Quite so, Dr. Lau.
What brings you from the Fulcrum Tower, sir?
A most grave matter, I'm afraid. One I believe you specifically to be most suited to handle.
Shall I, Father?
Please do, Galatea.
Central, I believe the audio EM capture system in this room to be faulty. Please run a deep diagnostic on the system.
Certainly, Miss Vargas. Beginning scan.
We have perhaps 2 minutes until the diagnostic cycle is complete.
Dr. Lau, have you heard of a gentleman by the name of Baxter?
Oh, here we go.
Dr. Adam Baxter, convicted murderer?
And a brilliant engineer in his time.
Yes, I've heard of him. My partner had a history with him. His parole hearing and eventual release really got to Dr. Regis.
Quite so, poor Viksha. I don't think Charlie ever got over it. And unfortunately, it appears that he's taking things into his own hands.
You have a connection to Regis as well?
Quite so. He worked for me in a research team, as
Oh.
did Baxter, in the same
Oh.
project.
Oh.
Viksha Regis.
Precisely. We lost half of the team in one fell
Wow.
swoop that day.
Okay.
Dr. Lau, when did you last see Dr. Regis?
Last night, before Central went into siege mode. Why? What's happened?
This morning, Dr. Baxter was found dead in his workplace.
Oh, no. Oh,
Interesting.
Charlie, no.
I share your concern, Dr. Lau.
Central believes Dr. Regis to be the most likely suspect. He would have known that Central would be unable to provide oversight during the siege.
And he had no shortage of motive, as I'm sure you'd agree.
I'm smelling a fish here somewhere. I don't know what that means, but it means I'm suspicious. What do you want me to do? Why did you cut Central's feed in here?
You're the controller of Central Operations. Why would you need to cut the camera feed with a trick like that?
I apologize, but for the sake of city security...
Yeah, can't tell me. Classified, ultra, violet A, etc.
I'm glad you understand.
I might understand, but I'm not happy about it.
Noted, Dr. Lau.
It just doesn't sound like him, though. He had other outlets, like his garden.
I don't fully agree with Central's assessment either. That is why I'm activating you on this case.
You want me to investigate Baxter's murder with my partner as the prime suspect? Isn't that a pretty serious conflict of interest?
Yeah.
It is within my prerogative to select agents I feel appropriate for casework, if necessary. Using it to aid an old friend, a good man, like Charlie Regis, I think that's worthwhile.
Remember that your primary responsibilities are to the law and to this city.
I think I've heard enough.
That's good to hear. I'll have Galatea email the case data to you. If I can be of any further help, don't hesitate to drop by my office.
At the top of the Fulcrum Tower. Make an appointment beforehand.
Man, she's a
Diagnostic
bitch.
cycle
What is
of
wrong with that
monitoring
woman?
systems complete. No wetware or firmware anomalies detected. However, please ask Dr. Regis to stop obstructing the lens assembly.
I wish you luck with your work, Dr. Lau, for Regis's sake.
All right. Okay. But I wanted to see what was in the vent. Why couldn't I see what was in the vent? God, they give you stuff and then they're like, nope, can't have it. I'm like, what is terminal? Power. Okay, that was funny. From Dr. Leo, as authorized by City Systems Administrator Dr. Eduardo Vargas, please find access to the investigation's case files enclosed. If you wish to discuss the case in person with the administrator, please make an appointment beforehand. Charles Regis, no subject, Max. That's interesting. Leo, thank you for, this is from Central, Mindjacking. Thank you for the summary of the so-called mindjacking investigations. It is evident that some of Dr. Regis' talent in investigation has found its way into your work. But please be aware that you need not also emulate his less helpful behavioral patterns. Max, it doesn't matter what Mom said. I don't really understand why you did it either, but I'm not going to judge you. I miss you, and they won't admit it, but Mom and Dad too. Please come home, Max. That city, that life, it'll change you. Eddie. Alright. Is this the case file? Category class 4 information larceny with composite harm. This is the same case file. Okay. Alright.
Got to wait till the AI lab have had their turn analyzing her. Then she's all mine.
Because that doesn't sound wrong at all. Alright.
Nah, I've already got it set up just right.
Okay. Can we check the desk? Terminal? No. We can't. Okay, let's go out.
I don't even know where I'm going.
Yep.
I'd better download the case file Dr. Vargas's assistant sent me.
We just did that. Oh, was there an attachment? Oh, there's an attachment. Oops. There we go. I was wondering.
Ow! Hey, what was that?
That's interesting. Maybe they just put a tracking device or something on us. Homicide, breaking and entering, abuse of public office. Case officers assigned, primary, blah, blah, blah. Outline. On 11th of July, 2087, Dr. Adam Baxter, blah, 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 was found dead by coworkers. Excuse me, I'm sorry. By coworkers at the Vickerman Tatsumoto Telepresence Laboratory in the Northeast Network. Cell has been contacted and case officer Leo M. activated for investigation. Victims to date: Baxter, Dr. Adam, former organic computing researcher for City of Newton, recently paroled from rehabilitation sentence. Suspects: Dr. C. Regis, cell agent, spouse of Visca Regis, victim of murder by Dr. Baxter, was detected entering laboratories on 10 July 2087 and leaving 1:28 minutes later. Oh, so he was actually detected entering the laboratory. Suspect: Charles Regis has been unreachable and has historically demonstrated a high anti-civil behavior index. With such a strong motive, his apprehension for questioning is a priority. Trying to investigate crime scene, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I think we need to go to the crime scene. Okay. Let's try to call Regis.
No answer.
It's like ridiculously far in the future, and tech has expanded all this way, but we still have that ringtone. And you know what? I'm not making fun of the game. I'm making fun of the fact that that's probably how it'll be. Let's go to the crime scene. Bickerman Pharmaceutical Laboratories.
Wow, that's a lot of green. Excuse me.
Great, they finally sent someone. You here to get the body out?
Maybe. I'm Max Lau, cell case specialist.
No kidding. I'm the lab director, Dr. Zvidzai Chigwa. Make it quick, I'm busy.
Okay.
What's your role here?
I'm the supervisor for the telepresence factoring labs. Most of it's automatic. I just make sure it's all running like it should.
Sounds like a big responsibility.
It's a lousy job most of the time.
Yeah.
TP is where management sticks people they don't want in public-facing roles.
You're not happy with it?
For the last few years, my career has been one disaster after another. I'm just glad it's plateaued into some kind of stability.
What's the purpose of this lab? Plant studies?
Yes and no. It's a TP lab, telepresence. There's a lot of research that's
As opposed
not
to
exactly
toilet paper.
legal in some countries.
But in Newton, pretty much anything goes.
Exactly. If someone in the EU needs research done on something hazardous, infectious, or endangered, they send the orders here and we carry out the testing.
What sort of research?
Mostly we make new angiosperms from scratch. That's flowering plants to you.
Gee, thanks. Why would people want new flowers?
Sometimes it's a drug delivery method. The earliest commercial examples were fruit that grew packed with insulin. A lot of new wetware begins its life as engineered fruit, too.
Must be awkward if they cross-pollinate in the wild.
And a legal headache. Part of our job is making sure the copy protection works.
Copy protection in plants? Ouch.
Who else
Aside from yourself, who else works in this laboratory?
There's my intern, Martin Meester, operates the factoring line. If you meet him, it's easy to see why they put him in here. And until recently, there was Dr. Baxter.
Tell me about Mr. Neester.
He came over from Eurofed on a study program. He's young. I guess we're all like that in our youth.
Good colleague?
He's all right. He got on board with that annoying Maladist trend. He knows how to follow instructions, so I let him get on with it.
His visa still active?
Dr. Lau, we do not employ undocumented illegals in this lab.
Just have to check. I'm sure you understand.
Baxter.
Tell me about Dr. Baxter.
Oh, he was bad enough to work with in the 60s. As part of his parole, they stuck a governor in his head. Since then, it's like talking to a badly written synthetic.
You don't care for him a great deal.
That man killed Vicky. Frankly, he deserved what he got.
But you still work with him.
He worked for me. It was another part of his parole. Vickerman's management persuaded centralized government that his skills were going to waste in prison. The company wanted him supervised by someone who knew him. Hence, they dragged my sorry ass in.
What did you have him doing?
He organized the specimen bank. It's the kind of thing we could just leave him at for hours on end. Days, sometimes. Really, it could have just been done by the facility's AI, but I had to give him something.
Otherwise, you'd have to talk to him?
Exactly.
I like this woman. And this whole thing is the music is quite loud. Like I had it balanced pretty good. I don't know if this track is not normalized correctly with the rest of the stuff, but I may need to turn the music down. Specimen bank.
What happens in the specimen bank?
It's where the samples of plants and growth matrices are stored. There's a huge library of subjects to work with, natural and man-made.
And that's where Baxter worked?
Yeah, it's not exactly taxing. I wanted to see what he could do since they put a governor in him.
You left him to work alone in there?
I'll be honest, he was not a pleasant man to talk to.
What sort of research were you conducting in the 60s?
You mean with Charlie and his wife? You might not believe it, but we were the people behind Central.
Central?
Really?
The city governing AI Central?
The same. Newton was looking for a coordinator AI. Vargas put together a team, including the new Mr. and Mrs. Regis.
Nuke me. Regis never mentioned anything about this.
It wasn't a happy memory for him. He left after the unpleasantness. We finished the project a few months later.
Huh. Might explain why he hates Central's guts. Can you tell me what happened?
Baxter got killed.
In any more detail?
When we started this afternoon, a whole lot of samples had been tampered with. We tried to call Baxter to find out what the hell was going on in the specimen bank.
And he didn't answer?
He didn't. Turned out the door to the specimen bank was locked too.
You haven't seen the body?
No, not in person, if that's what you mean. We got the camera feed online, but it was obvious that Baxter wasn't going to be coming out.
When did you last see him?
Guess it could have been Wednesday?
So he could have been killed any time in the past 3 days?
I guess, but it wouldn't fit with everything else.
You've got a keen mind. What's your take on this?
Hey, I'm not the detective, young lady. You know what I think? I think Regis did what they ought to have done 20 years ago.
Why do you say that?
Seems logical. We've got him coming into the labs on security, then we got him coming out an hour later. When we get here, we've got Baxter's corpse contaminating the specimen bank.
Anything else?
Well, something strange.
Okay.
Since we got in, we keep finding samples that have been tampered with. Looks like he spent his hour here messing up the genomes of our specimens.
That quickly?
If anyone was good enough to do it that fast, it'd be Charlie.
Yes.
You knew Regis as well.
Yeah, I was on a research team with him and his wife back in the 60s. Baxter, too.
We covered that.
You've apparently known him a long time. Does this seem like something Regis would do?
After what he did to Vicky, I'd have strangled Baxter, too. I tell you, if he did do it, I wouldn't blame him one bit.
Do you think he did it, though?
I don't know. He was always kinda shady.
Tell me about it.
They made him do some real awful stuff out in the hot zones.
Such as...
Let's just say his escape led to a whole lot of people being jailed for war crimes.
So you worked with Regis and his wife, as well as Baxter. Did you also work for Dr. Vargas?
That pompous ass? Yeah, I worked for him.
You don't care for him?
He was a competent researcher, but he lives for politics. Everything was always about making the world a better place.
And you don't think it should be better?
It's a nice idea, just not realistic. And what we ended up making, it was... Actually, never mind.
Interesting.
Why didn't the facility's CI detect Baxter's vitals suddenly failing? It's a potentially hazardous environment in here.
We were wondering that as well. This afternoon, we noticed the monitoring system in the sample lab was in recursion. All hell broke loose when the CI suddenly realized what had happened.
So either you've got a technical fault with the software or wetware interfacing,
Which is unlikely given how much they cost.
or someone breached the security systems to cover Baxter's murder. That gives me more hope. Regis would have no idea how to do that. You seem preoccupied.
That obvious, huh? We found a couple of specimens that Regis tampered with in his hour here. So I gotta run through the catalog and dig out the backups.
Sounds straightforward.
Not when there's 11,000 samples to take. Oh, I could punch Regis for this. Though, I want to shake his hand for Baxter so it kinda evens out.
What's been done to the samples?
He's used a customized viral vector to add huge amounts of junk DNA to their genomes. These are the last two I found, Medioflorens interensis and Linacia lawsonis.
May I have a look?
Do you think it'll help?
Just a hunch. Huh. Non-binary. A quaternary data string?
What do you mean?
My wetware systems are interpreting the genomes of these plants as sections of an audio file. He's used the DNA to store information.
You think so?
It's incomplete. The 2 samples only make up a third of the data, but M and L, my initials? This can't be a coincidence. He's left a message.
What does it say?
Not sure yet. I could probably construct the whole message if I can find where he's hidden the rest of it.
Safe to say it's in the other plants he's engineered. Here, take this. You can sample DNA from the plants around the lab. If you run out of sampling cartridges, you can reload it at this console.
Thanks. How long would it take to sample everything in the lab?
Only a couple of years. We have over 11,000 subjects. You're better off looking for specimens that would fill the gaps in the clue he left.
All right, I have to put a cut in this video. I got so involved in the story, I just looked over. I'm like, oh my god, this episode's been running long. So I'm gonna put a cut here. We're going to continue in the next one. I'm actually going to try to fix the music issue, yeah, so the vocals can be heard enough. And until then, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Hey there, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like. If you'd like to see more, just click subscribe. Come say hi to me on Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, any of those. I hope to see you next time.